If you ever wondered which job skills recruiters are actually looking for, then this is the episode for you.
We're going to dive into all things resume skills.
I'm Jen, a career coach and your go-to gal for all things career advice.
And I'm Gina, and hopefully we're going to help some people get their next job.
Welcome to Job Search Stories.
Let's start with transferable skills. First of all, people need to know what they actually are.
So transferable skills are really those attributes that can be applied across different roles or different industries. So when we think about transferable skills, a lot of times soft skills come to mind, but there are some hard skills that are transferable as well. And when we think about what are those skills that we're going to want to put on our resumes, just always make sure that they're relevant.
Okay, so it's not just going to be any skill or any trait that you've picked up over the years.
No, because some are really specialized to a role, right? And so some are specialized to an industry as well. So it's really thinking about what are those broader applications.
Let's give the people some tips. How would you put transferable skills on your resume?
When you think about how to incorporate transferable skills into your resume, there are some really great ways in which you can do it. One, you should definitely have a defined skills section. This is where you can really just list what those skills are. Make sure that you're including that list of hard and soft transferable skills. So what are those tools it takes to get the job done? But then also, what are those soft skills that you use to actually help you work with others? Don't sleep on your professional summary. This is a great way to incorporate those transferable skills because it's right at the top and you can add a little bit of context. And then you can add even greater context when you include those transferable skills in the bullet points in your work experience. So wherever you decide to put them, they're going to be all over your resume. Just make sure you're putting the right level of detail depending on what section they're included in.
So it depends on the section, is what you're saying.
Yes, the level of detail is absolutely going to depend on the section.
Okay, we love that. We love to see it. Okay, so I want to play a game with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know I love the games. I'm going to describe random skills, and then you're going to tell me what job that skill could transfer to.
Okay, I love this.
One of them is you're great at organizing your friends' vacations down to the minute, including making the Google Docs, making them look pretty. They're color-coded. What could that transfer to for a job?
If you're doing that level of detail and planning for vacations, there are some really great roles and skills that come to mind. Event planning, for one, project management, and all of the great skills that go into it, like logistics, communication, being detail-oriented. A lot of really great skills that fall in there.
What if you're the person who's always calming people down in the group, especially the group chats, when drama happens? Maybe it's like drama from the latest Love Island season, but also it could be drama in your actual friend group.
Okay, if you're the one who's kind of calming people down, then you probably have strong EQ, emotional intelligence. And the roles that could be a really good fit for are ones in human resources, maybe leadership, and honestly, maybe even customer service. If you've got strong conflict resolution skills, you're needed.
I mean, we do have a video on emotional intelligence, aka EQ, and why employers are looking for it. Anyways, I have another one. You've been working in retail for years, but now you want a corporate desk job. Which skills could this transfer over?
I think I lived this life once. I spent about 11 years in retail before moving into the corporate world.
Yes.
So a lot of the skills that you can use there, I know I just mentioned conflict resolution, great skill. The ability to multitask, the ability to be adaptable, and honestly, time management skills. These are all really useful.
If you do want to transfer to customer service, Jen is the person to call. She will get that resume right. Okay? We know transferable skills are very powerful, especially on a resume. But what if you literally never had a job? We talk about this a lot. How do you create a resume when you have no experience?
If you're just starting out in your job search and your professional journey, first of all, I've never worked with anybody who had zero skills and zero experience.
Yeah.
Experience does not have to be paid experience for it to be on your resume. So you should really kind of think holistically about the work that you've done in school and volunteering, positions, because there's a lot of skills that you can gather from there.
Are there any skills that are too basic to include, especially when you don't have experience and you just don't know what to put on your resume?
The best thing that you can do is always go to the job description that you're looking at.
Right.
If you see skills on there that are somewhere you feel like, oh my gosh, maybe everybody has these. Maybe everybody works well in a team. Maybe everybody can manage their time. They might seem like obvious skills, but they really aren't.
Right.
Not to mention, they might not be skills people want to use, so they may not want to put them on their resume anyway.
Mhm.
It really comes back to that position that you're applying for and thinking about, are the skills listed required? And if they are, and if you have them, you check all those boxes, then put them on the resume.
What if I'm a juggler? Do I put that on my resume?
Is it relevant to the role that you're applying for?
Who knows?
I think if you don't know, then the answer is probably no.
Okay, hating on juggling. But what if it's my favorite hobby? Do I put my hobbies as my skills?
We actually have a whole video series about this, and hobbies can be included on your resume as skills if they're related to the job itself.
Yeah.
So I think a really great example of this is,
Juggling.
not juggling.
Okay.
Let's say you're applying to work in a retail store.
Mm-hmm.
And that store is very outdoorsy. Maybe we're looking at like the REIs of the world, right? If your hobby is hiking, camping, oh, well, that's really relevant
Yeah.
to the role that you're applying for. So that makes a ton of sense. So
Mhm.
again, it comes back to the role relevancy. And actually, I was thinking about this the other day because at my gym, one of the personal trainers there, his hobbies, of course, are like jujitsu and
Right,
running
right.
marathons, but he's also a gardener. And I was like, you know what? I think that makes a lot of sense if he was to include it on his resume because when you think about it, you can
Patience.
nurture. You need
Nurturing. Yeah.
patience. Also, eating healthy and
Yep.
like whole foods, like you're nourishing your body inside and out.
Mhm.
Like that to me would be something relevant that you could put on your resume. Want to know which resume skills actually get past the filters? We know what recruiters are really looking for. Search for Indeed on YouTube.
What skills should you list if you don't have work experience? Because I know a lot of people just don't know what to put. So, are there examples of things? Like you said, what if I'm good at juggling? What skills do I put on my resume?
If you're good at juggling and you're applying to be like a party entertainer, put that on there.
Okay, but I'm talking about like, what does juggling transfer over to? Like, what do you think of that could be good for like a soft skill on a resume?
Dedication and patience for sure in terms of the time it took to learn that skill.
Yes.
But again, if it's not necessarily relevant to the role, let's skip that. But
Trying
if
to
you
find a way for juggling to be relevant for my
I
jobs.
don't think juggling is ever going to be relevant on your resume.
Hater.
This is Christiane in Post. Just want to say shout out to our Juggler subscribers. We love you and your amazing skills. Rock on.
But if you're just starting out and you don't know what type of skills you should put, always start by pulling 3 to 5 job descriptions for a role that you're interested in. And that's where you can kind of like lay them out side by side and start looking for patterns in
Mhm.
between what is listed as required, what's listed as nice to have. That's where you can really pull, okay, what are those skills that you already have versus the ones that maybe you don't, but you see that they're important because they're listed multiple times.
Right.
Because in that instance, you've just identified a skill gap and then
Mhm.
you would want to upskill in those areas. So that's really how you're going to be able to find out which skills you would be wanting to grow and to use.
So here's a stat that you might be interested in. Harvard Business Review reports that from 2017 to 2019, employers dropped degree requirements for 46% of middle skill and 31% of high skill jobs, shifting focus from degrees to proven skills and competencies.
Well, we love skills first hiring here at Indeed. So it seems like what we're saying is emphasizing your skills and how they apply to the specific job is going to be very crucial in this current job market.
Agreed.
Now that we've uncovered all the skills that you're supposed to have on your resume, let's break them down. You mentioned hard skills and soft skills. How would you define hard skills and soft skills?
Hard skill is the tools that you use to do the work. And then a soft skill are the attributes you use to get the work done and to work with others.
Right.
So when we're thinking about hard skills, these are usually tools, maybe software. Soft skills are like communication and leadership. To use a role as an example, let's think about copywriters.
Mhm.
Hard skills they might have, they might know the AP style guide, or of course, copy editing, also CRMs like WordPress. Those were all hard skills. But then you have the soft skills like critical thinking, attention to detail, thriving in a fast-paced environment. That's really how they get the work done. So it's kind of a simple way to think about the difference between the two.
I do have a hot take from Reddit that I want to get your opinion on because they do talk about hard skills and soft skills. It starts off by saying soft skills aren't as important as hard skills. The Reddit user says there's been a soft skills hype being pushed around in some industries, and it's 100% BS. Soft skills are overrated when it comes to getting a job. I wanted to get into IT. I've worked customer service for over 8 years, dealt with angry customers all the time, and I've been told I'm easy to work with. Surely that puts me ahead in an industry, IT, that supposedly needs people with good customer service experience. Boy, was I wrong. Companies don't want to train people, so they will pick skills over personality in order to keep their costs down and prevent people from getting free training and leaving for their competitors. Someone has replied, this is so factually incorrect. It is easier to get jobs and grow up the corporate ladder if you have a lot of soft skills and sufficient hard skills than the other way around. There are exceptions where crazy engineers go far, but much more often, okay engineers with good social skills get promoted. What are your thoughts?
I can definitely understand the first poster's point of view. I personally lean more towards an agreement with the second hot take, which I believe is by a user named Fart Cookies.
Fart cookies?
Fart Cookies is speaking truth in my mind. Kudos to you.
Kudos to you, Fart Cookies.
But I mean, really, what it comes down to it is this person makes a very valid point, which is hard skills can be taught. Right? Personality and the openness to learn, and especially in an interview where you've demonstrated or given examples of a time in which you've had to learn on the job and grow in that way, it's so much easier to teach. Of course, you have to have a baseline of skills, which is, I think, what the first person is really talking about is like you really need the hard skills.
Right.
But you may not have to be as proficient as you think. And I think that's something that holds people back too from applying for jobs is they think like, well, I'm not like fully proficient in this. I have some basic knowledge. They're probably looking for somebody who's a little bit better and uses this skill more. So if you're looking at an application and you see, okay, I have some of the skills that are listed, but maybe I've only been using them for a little bit of time or I've just been introduced to them, that might be a deterrent where you're thinking, I'm not as proficient. But if you have examples in your work history where you've really been able to pick up and learn new skills and you do have that introduction, still apply because you can be taught. And a lot of times people are willing to invest that time in you.
I feel like for me, especially when I'm hiring people, I care a lot about the soft skills. Hard skills, yes, I care about. I want to make sure you can do the job. But there are a lot of things, especially in our line of work, where we need people with very strong soft skills.
Oh, absolutely. Communication. We talk about this all the time. It's the number one skill that employers are looking for.
Yeah.
But the ability to communicate with different audiences, so important. Are you communicating in small groups, interpersonally, to leadership?
Yep.
It takes a wide range of communication skills. That's a soft skill, but it's one of the most in-demand skills there are.
And in fact, Indeed wrote an article about this, and employers typically prioritize soft skills as much as hard skills in their employees. So soft skills actually give a competitive edge.
I love that because it turns out soft skills are just as important.
You need both.
You need both. Honestly, I love when someone has soft skills and hard skills. That's all the time we have for today. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching Job Search Stories. If you're looking for more job search advice, don't forget to subscribe to Indeed's YouTube channel. And just drop any questions or topics below that you'd like us to cover in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye. Welcome to Job... Girl.
I'm sorry you took so long.
You probably know that a key skip?
And in fact, everybody like Harvard business. Business.
Never get that business.
Business. The Harvard Business
Review.
Yes.